Hey friends, this is Travis here. Since I've been surfing the internets trying to find more videos of lawn tractors turned into garden tractors, turned into everything machines, I have a Cub Cadet XT1 that I bought in 2017. I've been on the YouTubes finding videos about some maintenance items, and I figured, why don't I shoot a video myself and share it with everybody just to show some of the modifications that I've been working on, some in progress, some complete, that I have found on my about 4-acre property with a large hill and driveway to be beneficial to me. So we're looking out at where I store things at, and you can see on the right side here that I got a 10 cubic foot Brindley trailer. That's an upgrade from an older steel trailer that I had that was rusting and wheels had kind of fallen off of, but that's my workhorse for moving around sticks and mulch and rock and everything else around here that I need to. I haven't built the stake sides and divider yet, but that's on my list of things just to have it around. We're looking at the back end right now. I was able to find a sleeve hitch on Craigslist to a Craftsman tractor that happens to fit pretty standard size here. Shoulder bolts were already installed, so I was able to get that manual sleeve hitch installed. I had a 2-inch tube adapter that I had mounted several years ago. I'm still waiting to get something to actually sit on this, or to appropriately use the sleeve hitch for the 2-inch tube here. But in the meantime, this guy's bolted in, and since I mostly just haul the trash and the recycling with this, it's been doing the job. So upgrade that I made almost immediately after I got the tractor is because I have to go up and down the hill to take the recycling out, was to get something that I could put the cans in, and I grabbed this rear hitch rack from Harbor Freight. I grabbed some spare board that I had just to make a base for that. The thing that I will probably try to do is see if I can get some sides of some kind up. Every once in a while when I hit the gas, the cans roll out. That's not a complete surprise, so I need to take care of that. You can see that there's 2 hooks on there. Originally, before I put the cover cap on, I would snug up that hitch onto the bed, or excuse me, the steel sheet on the back with some turnbuckles, and not great, but it definitely did the job to keep things from vibrating around too much and distributing the weight some. I still haven't thought about if there's something better to do for that. I generally keep the rear tires with those Gator grips on them, even in the spring and summer when fall when I'm mowing. They don't do too much damage to the grass, and I do have a hill that I have to mow a little bit, so it helps me to have a little bit of the traction there. That particular set of tighteners isn't really necessary. They didn't fit the front, so figured what the heck else am I going to do with it, and just strapped them on there. On the fronts, I do run chains, which is very helpful in the winter on the icy driveway. I've had struggles trying to find, though, a set of tighteners that were small enough for this particular wheel size, and my kind of sloppy modification was just to start zip tying the one that I had to tighten it up a little bit. Good part is when there's slush on the driveway, that chain definitely holds and helps me steer much better. The downside is when there's no snow on the driveway, it is hard to get traction during turns, and I can definitely skid out a decent amount there. So the thing that I'm working on right now is actually a frame to put a snow cover or a cab cover in place. And I'd seen a few models of these available, and I thought, instead of me having to buy that, I can just make this myself. So I couldn't tell you that it's any less expensive than if I'd gone out and just bought a kit. But I've been working on this over the weekend. It's 3/4 inch structural pipe from Lowe's with a whole bunch of the fittings. I've got one extra 90-degree angle up there that I want to take care of a little bit later on, but the cab itself is finished up. It bolts into the frame underneath there because I had the holes there already, and I figured I may as well make use of them rather than on the sleeve hitch or something like that. So ultimately, as it keeps warming up, I'll probably paint all that pipe black again just to protect it a little bit, make it look good. I don't know. Keep working on it. I did find this rack pretty early on. It's actually where I got the 2-inch sleeve hitch from. And this is what I use for carrying the pitchfork and shovels and whatever else around when I need to. Got it bolted up there. The most handy tool of all, of course, is the Harbor Freight survival knife, so that I can cut the cardboard boxes when I'm ready to recycle them, because that's really important. On the back here, I've got a set of LED lights. I think these are Niilights from that I got off Amazon. I've got 2 pairs, one here in the back, and this is on a switch up here on the side, so that when I'm plowing in the winter, or if I'm out late at night, whatever, I can get those lights on and get some spots in the rear. I've got a little battery charger that's kind of already set, ready to go, so as soon as I park, I just plug in the extension cord. Battery stays charged up, no issues there. Got my little wheel helper, which has been quite beneficial for all the plowing that we've done here. And then up in the front, kind of the same. The XT1 comes with LED lights. They're not particularly bright. This extra set of Niilights definitely helps out field of vision. I've got them angled out just a little bit to spread out that light when I need it. Those are tied to the LED lights on that cover. I can still take the cover off and remove the quick disconnect, and the whole thing comes off when I need it to. It doesn't draw that much power, so I wasn't particularly concerned about it, and thus far for the last few years, no issues. So it's tied into the ignition system, comes on when the front lights come on, turns off when they go off as well. The last 2 implements that I run, I ended up getting tired a few years ago with trying to spread salt by hand. Sometimes I do still spread it by hand. Broke down and just got myself one of these little Agrifab broadcast spreaders. It's okay. When it's loaded, it spins perfectly fine, gets the salt out. I'd like to take shrouds to kind of protect the front and keep the salt going backwards rather than forwards, but for right now, that's been an acceptable compromise. And then the last item, this is one that I run the most, is that front-mounted plow. Real handy during the winters for taking care of the driveway. We got about 100 yards of driveway on a hill, which is not particularly fun to do by hand. We usually park a car at the bottom of the hill. As you can kind of see here, the driveway goes on down and down and down and down. So this guy here, it's a 46-inch blade. It might be a 48-inch blade if I remember correctly. I wish it was just a little bit wider, and on one side maybe have a little shear that comes up just a little bit, but honestly, it does really good. Tractor does good moving it around. As long as I can get to the snow when it's about maybe 4 or 5 inches, anything less than that, this thing takes care of it. Within about 20 minutes, I'm done. If it's longer than that, it does, or if it's any deeper than that, I have had some issues, especially with some of the heavy stuff, where I've realized, late in the day, get out, and time's gone by, and it's built up or packed up. But I've had that now for about 4 seasons. Absolutely no issues with it. Still, even the coatings are still doing pretty good. Grabs snow pretty good. I beat the crap out of it a good bit, and yet it still does quite well. So, hey, for those of you that have the XT1 and are putting videos up, I really appreciate them very much. The tractor itself has been absolutely great. I finally got around to having to replace the starter relay, solenoid, this spring, which was unfortunate because we did have snow and I needed to use the tractor. but I was able to do that. Thank you, Cub Cadet, for putting it in the worst possible place, underneath the battery, behind a whole bunch of stuff that I had to work really hard at getting it. I have the push button start that has a Bluetooth maintenance meter and kind of the bells and whistles and the fuel injection system. Engine reliability has been absolutely great. Absolutely no issues there. I don't use that Bluetooth module. I just keep track of the maintenance myself when I need to. Got a couple things that are on deck. Got to get the tubing painted here for the frame, and then I'm going to sew up a little cover to at least keep the sun off while I'm mowing this later in the spring. And then the little panel here, I had to take apart the steering wheel over the winter, and realized I had that panel there. I actually have a temperature meter that has a probe. I'm going to try to put that somewhere near the engine in a safe location, but at least keep an eye on the compartment temperature. And then I have an ambient temperature thermometer as well that has humidity, just to know, hey, how cold is it out here? Should I put on my my gloves? That would be a good idea. Last thing I keep handy at all times. You can see I had 2 switches here. Originally, I was going to do a 12-volt salt spreader off the back, and ended up not needing it. So, and I didn't put the switch back on. I always keep a set of earplugs in a can on the tractor. That way, whenever I start it up, very first thing, earplugs go in. I'm not worried about my hearing. I have no excuse not to put them in when I need to. So, hey, hope you enjoyed this. As I get other projects done on this guy, I'll see if I can get some videos put up. Hopefully give you some inspiration too. Thank you to all the other YouTubers there that are on these small properties and very, very small properties, doing things to your lawn tractors to make them more versatile. I grew up farming, and I very much appreciate the ability to have a machine that does some stuff for you. So thank you very much for that, and have a great day.